Welcome back, fellow Americans. Patriots of every race, religion, creed, skin color. It doesn't matter your political views. I'll listen to everybody. Apparently, we didn't give old Crooked Chuck Schumer enough attention. So we're going to get some other perspectives of it, and we're going to react to a couple more videos on old Chuck. Since he all of a sudden wants to get up there and do something for America, this hardworking middle and lower class, you want to save America, Chuck, right? Listen, guys, he doesn't want to say. Where were these people 20 years, 30 years, 40 years ago? They've been in there so long. They've gotten so filthy, stinking rich, and they're so used to the power. But we're going to get right into the clips. We're going to do this old Chuck. Do that stuff there if you can. My fancy starting music video like everybody else. I mean, I guess I'll make an AYI one. If that's what y'all want, I'll go ahead and do the same thing as everybody else and add a starting video. That's just me freestyling, playing around. But let's go ahead and get into this. This is DeVory Darkins, shout out. I'm sure he would appreciate it if you hit this right here and subscribe to him. He's a pretty well-rounded news source.
Minority Leader Chuck Schumer just ended his own career because he is now going to vote yes on that continuing resolution. This has caused Democrats to turn against him and throw him under the bus. Now, before we get to what they had to say about all this, let's hear his excuse.
I think there are a lot of people watching this right now who are confused about this decision, or upset by it. So just spell out, just give me your logic, particularly on this sort of on the one hand, on the other. What is the cost you see to the constitutional order of a shutdown that isn't already being done now?
It's a dramatic cost. Here's why, Chris. Under a shutdown, it is the executive branch, in this case Trump, Musk, Doge, and Vogt, who's head of the OMB, who we all know are authoritarians, vicious, nasty, who would have sole control over what is funded and what isn't. They get to determine what is a, quote, essential service. And they will just cut to smithereens, far greater than in the CR bill, which is a lousy bill, far greater than that, what could be funded and what couldn't. And there's no recourse. You can't go to court. This is a decision totally in the executive branch.
So Chuck Schumer has backed himself into a corner. He's in a lose-lose situation. If he votes for this bill, progressives are going to axe him. He's already skating on thin ice as it is. I think this is going to end him as the leader of the party, believe it or not. That's just my own personal opinion. But secondly, it's a loss because if he goes against the bill...
Listen, it's all just a show. Chuck Schumer isn't gonna vote for this. He's gonna do whatever his cronies want. Look at what they're doing on TikTok. Look at what they're doing with their social media. They're all following a script. They're all following the same script. Some Gen Z staffer is writing these TikToks thinking they're helping with exposure. They're all trying to break into the podcasting and the social media and doing what we're doing. I'm doing it. But I'm just trying to expose. I'm not going to get famous off of this. These people have the lockdown on that. And I'm pretty sure all the other videos. There's channels out there that have 6 videos that I ain't never even heard of. And they got like hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't care. I'm just going to keep pushing forward and making this. Because his opinion, my opinion, your opinion, everybody's opinion matters. So let's all just... I don't care. I'm not a camera person either. But I ain't scared of it.
And the government actually shuts down, that gives Donald Trump all the authority to cut whatever programs he wants to cut, and there's no way to oppose it. But what I want you to do is hear Kellyanne Conway explain why President Trump has Democrats exactly where he wants them.
They look at everything through the prism of Donald Trump, who has the Democrats exactly where he wants them, Liz. If they shut down the government, Americans will believe it was the Democrats' fault, and then they're handing Trump the ability to decide which levers are operable again, what's essential and what's not. So he can go department by agency, by program. And we've seen in the last 52 days of the Trump presidency, we've seen in the last 100 days since he was elected, Liz, that the Democrats are feckless, reckless, and rudderless. And this is not a good message for them either. People know that those Democrats spent money we don't have on things we didn't need, and that our prices went up. High quality, high paying jobs went down, and yet there were no tariffs.
So it's already enough that President Trump has Democrats on their heels, but it's even worse that they're now turning on each other, which is why I want to show you these next couple of clips where you have AOC, Bernie Sanders throwing Chuck Schumer under the bus, and they strongly
I don't think it's a good thing if they turn on each other too much. I mean, we all may get a chuckle out of it because we love chaos, we love meltdowns, we love downfalls, especially of some of these crooked individuals. And we definitely want to see accountability. We want to see hands behind their backs. We want to see them walked out live on TV. We want to uncover all of it. But think about it. Some of these leftists and some of these leaders and the ones that have connections and power are going to be so desperate. They're going to be trying to outdo the next as they're eating each other. As they're eating each other alive, they're going to be outdoing the next, and each one of their stances is going to become more and more outlandish until ultimately one of them triggers World War III. I probably shouldn't even say that. That's probably what's been getting my videos not pushed. But they're ultimately going to mess around, stall, delay, instigate, and lie until they create Civil W or WW3. I'm going to have to familiarize myself with these YouTube guidelines because I need to know what I can say and what I can't say. If somebody knows anything and they can help me, I'd pay. Reach out to me, robrambo1980@gmail.com, or through here. Any tips would be appreciated, and I'll give you credit for it too.
disagree with his decision.
You've got thousands of
comment down
unread
below,
emails.
guys. Tell me what
You're
you
missing
guys think.
opportunities
Do you
and
think
blocking
all
your
of a
team.
sudden all
What if
these
you could
sudden interest in social media and podcasting is going to help them or hurt them?
Check this out.
Chuck
Do you think
Schumer, I
they've
guess the Senate
had their chance or
Democratic
not?
leader, your senator, said at this meeting that he is going to vote.
And this woman is just plumb crazy. The AOC is just plumb crazy. And that TikTok cringy video they did of choose your fighter. Dun, dun, dun. Oh. I am sorry, but honey, you don't have a fighting stance. You don't even know anything about the world. You're probably some spoiled, you sound like a kid at times. And honestly, going against the directive of the president and telling illegals how to escape authority, it's not going to go too well for you, and you need accountability. My light was starting to go out. I had to kick it. But we're going to go ahead and get into this.
Foreclosure, he is going to vote to allow there to be a simple majority vote. You think that's wrong?
I believe that's a tremendous mistake. Yes.
Why?
I think, well, first and foremost, the American people, if anyone has held a town hall or has seen what has been happening in town halls, American people, whether they are Republicans, Independents, Democrats, are up in arms about Elon Musk and the actual gutting of federal agencies across the board. This continuing resolution codifies much of this chaos that Elon Musk is wreaking havoc on the federal government. And I cannot.
Elon. Come up with something new, lady. It's not working for you. He's not appointed. Neither was the last people. Besides Obama, Clinton, they all created the same kind of program and had people attempt to do the same thing. They just didn't produce any results. Leave Elon alone. The man clearly is doing good for humanity. Leave him alone. God.
enough
He made
how
his
bad
money
of an
his
idea
way.
it is to empower and enable Donald
So
Trump
old.
and Elon Musk in this moment. It is dangerous and it is reckless.
Well,
So at this point, you probably have heard these same talking points ad nauseum, and this is no different from AOC. This is exactly what we expected her to say. The only thing I'm looking to highlight in that clip is how she threw Chuck Schumer under the bus. Right? There was no
They all
support
will.
for what he's
They'll
doing. She
turn on
didn't even
each other quicker
entertain
than-
why she did not even entertain why he would make this decision. She's going to the extremes, and I'm telling you, she represents the progressive side of this base. They're not going to buy Chuck Schumer's excuse on this. So it's not a good look. Now, before we get to Bernie Sanders and more of what she had to say, let's first hear from the president himself and what he had to say about all this.
They do a shutdown, and ultimately that might lead to very, very high taxes, because we're talking about a shutdown. We're talking about getting to work immediately on the greatest tax bill ever passed. That was the one we did. It was a renewal, and it's an addition to it. And we're going to cut people's taxes. And if we don't open, the Democrats are stopping all of these good things that we're providing. We're providing the greatest package of benefits that this country's ever provided. The biggest part of that's going to be tax cuts for the middle class and for businesses, small businesses, employers, people that hire people in jobs. And if it's shut down, it's only going to be, if there's a shutdown, it's only because of the Democrats. And they would really be taking away a lot from our country and from the people of our country.
So it's clear that the leverage is with Republicans and President Trump. Democrats have more to lose than Republicans do. And this actually begs the question, which is what Jake Tapper asked AOC, what I'm about to show you right now, is if you believe President Trump, Elon Musk, the entire administration is made up of weak leadership, if Chuck Schumer votes for this bill, is he a weak leader too?
You just talked about the strength of your leadership. Chuck Schumer just said that he's going to vote for cloture. Not only the Democrats can do it, but he's going to participate in it. Does that mean that you think he's a weak Senate leader?
I wouldn't follow
I
you
think
anywhere,
that
ma'am.
that would be a mistake. But we have time between now and tomorrow, and I hope that individuals that are considering that reconsider it.
Yeah, so there was no, hey, Jake Tapper, he's actually a strong leader. I disagree with him on this, but let's not question his leadership skills. She didn't say any of that, right? She totally dodged the question, which definitely shows you she's not on board with his way of doing things. That is very clear. And by the way, let's not forget Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer muzzled her a few times and kept her in the back because she draws too much attention for the party. Now, she wasn't the only one to come out and trash Chuck Schumer and throw him under the bus. Here is Bernie Sanders strongly disagreeing with this.
Yeah, they all think they have something to say all of a sudden. Where were they, and why do they run from the public? When we try to hold them accountable and ask them questions, where are they?
Decision.
I'm strongly
They
going
only
to vote
speak on
no.
their own terms.
I think the American people are sick and tired.
No, Bernie, we're sick and tired of you people. You're a neocon now. You're completely loony. What little bit of hope people had for you is just shattered, sir. You people are straight demons. I mean, you talk to the people through these news drops and now social media, but if they're on the street, you won't stop and talk like JD did when he was chased down with his daughter. Look into the clip of JD getting chased down on the street by some citizens. Not only does the man stop and talk to him, but he does it with his daughter while they're out and about shopping. That's leadership. That is confronting real world situations. So, I don't know what you're going to say, Bernie, but you have nothing to say. Please do not fall for this, people.
Of Elon Musk, the richest guy in the world, running around slashing Social Security, veterans programs that Republicans are moving for massive tax breaks for the rich and cutting Medicaid and nutrition, moving us to oligarchy and authoritarianism. You got to draw a line.
He is not cutting Medicaid. He's cutting the fraud out of Medicaid so that way Medicaid survives. This lie and narrative that they all push. I told you I pay for state insurance. I pay a monthly premium, and it got shut off out of nowhere. But that was in Biden's term. That was in last December. It had nothing to do with Trump. Do your research. Sir, don't speak on
And I
behalf
think
of
the
veterans.
American people are prepared to stand with those of us who say that, you know what, we're a government of the people, by the people,
No,
for the
you're
people,
not.
the oligarchy. And we're not going to give tax breaks to billionaires and cut
The most
food,
transparent.
take food away from hunger.
Oh my God, I know I'm talking a lot. Sir! Like Rick says, people that's watching this, sir, stop pausing the video, sir. Your jokes, sir, they're childish, sir. But these people are childish. They bring out the child in us. I mean, they think you're stupid. Frankly, they don't even care if you're smart. They don't care if you're stupid. They don't care either way. They're going to continue. They're going to continue as long as that they have these platforms. As long as we keep allowing this, it's going to keep happening. I can't even get nobody to comment on a video then along, the country banding together to get rid of fraud and corrupt.
Hungry kids. You got to stand up. You got to fight back. You got to go into the streets. You got to rally the American people. I think you can win millions of people, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, who really do not like the direction in which this country is now going.
You're so
All right, so
dumb.
let me just explain to you guys what Bernie Sanders is doing, because everything that came out of his mouth was a lie. There are no receipts. There are no pieces of legislation. There's nothing on paper that shows that Republicans are gutting veteran benefits, okay? That just does not exist whatsoever. Even the Secretary of the VA came out and nipped that in the butt. Bernie Sanders, what he is doing is trying to capitalize on this moment politically, okay? He's trying to gain momentum to possibly become the leader of the party as far as 2028 is concerned. You have to understand, he does represent the populist left. Now, it's not just this continuing resolution that's causing problems for Democrats.
That's exactly why they got rid of Biden. Because how can you bide for power if Biden is still in? Did you? Okay, so I'm going to have to go back. How do I go back?
It's this medieval simulation
Come on, Dabry. There we go. Hopefully it picks up right where we left off. But yeah, they're all just Biden for power. They're trying their hardest to figure out who's going to make that presidential run to take down the evil Donald Trump.
If a man really hated ads, here's what he would do.
Guess what, Schumer?
Day one, he would install Pi on his computer without spending a dime because it's
probably Gabbard or Headset or
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer just ended his own career because he is now going to vote yes on that continuing resolution. This has caused Democrats to turn against him and throw him under the bus. Now, before we get to what they had to say about all this, let's hear his excuse.
I think there are a lot of people watching this right now who are confused about this decision or upset by it. So just give me your logic, particularly on this sort of on the one hand, on the other. What is the cost you see to the constitutional order of a shutdown that isn't already being done now?
It's a dramatic cost. Here's why, Chris. Under a shutdown, it is the executive branch, in this case Trump, Musk, Doge, and Vogt, who's head of the OMB, who we all know are authoritarians, vicious, nasty, who would have sole control over what is funded and what isn't. They get to determine what is a, quote, essential service. And they will just cut to smithereens, far greater than in the CR bill, which is a lousy bill, far greater than that, what could be funded and what couldn't. And there's no recourse. You can't go to court. This is a decision totally in the executive branch.
Yeah, so Chuck Schumer has backed himself into a corner. He's in a lose-lose situation. If he votes for this bill, progressives are going to axe him. He's already skating on thin ice as it is. I think this is going to end him as the leader of the party, believe it or not. That's just my own personal opinion. But secondly,
there is literally nothing they could say or do to just... There's nothing they could do to get me back. Nothing at all. I would never believe these people ever again because it is absolutely ludicrous that they've gotten away with it this long. And people keep allowing it. Somehow, some way, people keep voting these people in. I would like to know who's voting these people in. They're stealing from you. They're telling you to get rid of the one person that's trying to stop it, and then they want to tax you even more on top of it. It's unbelievable what we've come to. And we're just taking it. It's so nuts. This is nuts.
In fact, the illegal aliens were simply processed and then released into American communities. I've been trying to reach out to former DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas to get his response to these claims. I haven't heard back, but he previously blamed Congress for issues during a Senate hearing last year. Listen.
Our immigration system, however, is fundamentally broken. Only Congress can fix it. Congress has not updated our immigration enforcement laws since 1996, 28 years ago.
All right, well, we're going to get off of this subject, and we're going to go ahead, because we got more videos to get out. I know this is another one of Chuck Schumer, and I'd like to thank you, anybody who's still sticking around, who's been watching. I'm still working on getting these upgrades done. I'm still trying to find somebody to help me. Help produce the show, give me some tips, do whatever that it takes to make you, as the viewers, know I'm serious about trying to provide beneficial information, things that you can use in real world applications, things that are happening in the real world and not just in this fairy tale land of Washington. These people making the decisions are so far out of touch that it's ridiculous. And the reason why Trump and his cabinet are doing so good is because they take the time to go to these cities. Trump didn't even stop on the campaign. After he won presidency, he still goes to these events out in public. He's transparent. He'll have questions while he's signing documents. I don't know what more you guys could ask for. What, because he's a little bit brasher than you? We're Americans. We're brash. It's nothing that you don't think in your mind. If you don't even say it out loud, that just means you're a fake person. It doesn't mean that you're a kind person. It doesn't mean that you're a caring person. If you think these thoughts in your head and you just act like you're just this polite savior of other countries, but you're still a piece of shit up here and here, it doesn't make you a good person or an activist. This stuff helps. That's my non-intrusive way of asking. We're going to be dropping some other videos. We're going to look at what some other Democratic leaders are doing. We're going to be trying to look at some other stories that nobody else is covering, so that way we can separate ourselves. Any ideas, anything that you guys want to talk about, we're going to be doing some more lawfare videos. There's a lot of stuff to look forward to. So if you do that and you keep track and you get your notifications up, you'll stay up to date with all the different stuff I'm going to be working with. There's going to be all kinds of stuff, guys. So I appreciate you watching. This is Rob Rambo. Peace.